Okay, so in this video, I'm going to show you how we can build a SaaS application with absolutely no code. We're going to use lovable.ai, which is essentially like a chat interface where we can just type in a prompt, which is just plain English, and it will go ahead and build a full app for us. Now, because this will only build kind of the front end to the app, we're also going to use another software called make.com, and this is basically just a drag and drop automation builder where we can just drag and drop some modules and connect them together, and it will build kind of the back end for the app, so the usefulness for the app. We're also going to connect it to Stripe so we can process payments and we can start selling this app within a couple of minutes. So to start off, what we're going to do is we're going to come over here to Lovable and we're going to come up with a app idea. And for this video, I thought we would build a app for real estate agents that they can use on their day-to-day operation. I work in the real estate niche and we've managed to scale our AI agency to about 80k a month. And there's one thing that I've noticed that all real estate agents kind of talk about as a pain point, and that's value in property. So when people are selling their properties, they have to get their property valued, and they usually reach out to a real estate agent to get that property valued. So what we're going to build in this video is we're going to build an app where you can put in an address and it will give you an estimate price or an estimate valuation of a property. So that's what we're going to say over here. We're going to say to this Lovable, I'm just going to say in a voice, I'm going to say, hey, we're looking to build a AI app or software where we can value properties instantly. It must be a plain, minimalist design, but also be clean and professional looking. We're also going to want to add some headers and some images to make the website or the SaaS application look a little bit neater. But the main goal of this SaaS application is to be able to value any property by just putting in the property address and some details about the property, like the size, bedrooms, bathrooms, condition, etc. Okay, now this prompt should go in there. This is everything we said. Okay, so this is basically everything we just said. I'm going to send that over. Now Lovable will spin up a preview for us. So what it's doing right now is it's building kind of the front end to an app. So if I go back out here and I look at something that we've already built, like this website, you can see all of this is kind of like the front end. But if I click in here and I want to use the chatbot, this is basically make.com as the background or another software as the background. So you can actually make this app or this software useful. So Lovable basically just builds the design and the front end, all of your text, and you're able to click into all of these things here. But we do need make.com or some sort of usefulness in the background. So if we come back over here into the app that we're just about to build, this will take a couple of minutes to spin up. So in the meantime, we're going to go over to make.com and we're going to build the actual valuation tool. So as we come over here to make.com, we need to do a couple of things. We need to come over here first and we need to create a new scenario. So I'm going to click in here, and the first thing I'm going to use is a webhook module. The reason we're using a webhook module is because, as we see in a couple of minutes over here on Lovable, we're going to have kind of a website and you're going to have a text box where you can put in your address and click submit. When we click submit, we need it to do something. So what we're going to tell this app whenever it finishes is we're going to say, whenever somebody submits an address, send it to this webhook, and it's going to send it over to this webhook that we make over here in make.com. So we're going to select custom webhook and we're going to select a new webhook, and I'm just going to call this YouTube test Lovable. Now for this app, we need it to value a property. So the webhook will send over a couple of details that the user fills in. So like the address, bedrooms, bathrooms, and condition. So what we're going to do is we're going to come over here and we're going to use a Perplexity module. And why we use Perplexity is because Perplexity is one of the best at doing kind of research on the web. And the reason we needed to do research on the web is because we wanted to kind of do some research on the area of the property and recent property sales in that area, so we can generate a report for us to send back over to the app so this user can get their property valuation. So we're going to come over here to Perplexity. We're going to select create a chat completion Pro, or we're going to use Sonar Deep Research. We're going to add in a message and we're going to say to this module, hey, your role is to value properties with the most intensive research you could possibly do. The goal of this is to give a user a property valuation on their property while using real live data and up-to-date recent sales. Your process to getting an evaluation for this property should be 1, determining the market research, 2, determining any recent sales or for sale properties, and 3, determining stuff like safety, property predictions, recommendations of the area, reviews on the area, walking distance, schools, shops, etc. Make sure to do a deep, thorough investigation on what you think is the most accurate property valuation for this property that we give you. Okay, so that's basically going to be our prompt. And to make this prompt a little bit better, I'm just going to copy all of this, come over to Claude, and I'm going to say, hey, this is a prompt for a property valuation tool I am building. Please make this better and more structured. I'm going to paste that in, and I'm going to send that over. Okay, so while we wait for that to generate, we're going to come back over here to Lovable. So you can see here we have the app, kind of the front end built. It says instant property valuations powered by AI. It gives us, kind of builds out the full app. For some reason, it put in some testimonials. We'll leave them as is. But if we click get free valuation now, you can see we have the address, city, zip code, property type, bedrooms, bathrooms, square feet, year built, and select a condition for the property. Now, as we said before, this module over here, this webhook, needs to be triggered whenever somebody presses this get instant valuation. So what we're going to do is we're going to come back over here to the webhook, and we're going to copy this address from the webhook. So we're going to copy the address to clipboard, and we're going to come back over here to the app that we've built, and we're going to say for this app, whenever a user presses the get instant valuation button, you should trigger this webhook and wait for a response. The response from the webhook will be the property valuation report in HTML, which we will need you to display in a neat format and easy to view page for the client. Please make these changes. I will give it the webhook. Here is the webhook. Give it the webhook. Now it should be able to make these changes for us. So whenever somebody puts the address in here, maybe 123 Street, let's say good. If I press get instant valuation, you can see it just gives us a random value. Obviously this hasn't done any research of that property. So what it's going to do now, after it finishes with these changes over here, is it should be able to trigger that webhook over here, and it should go through this process of actually getting a real value for the property. Now, to come back over here and to get our prompt, you can see this has prepared a nice prompt for us, which we can use. So I'm going to copy all of this, copy this, bring it back over here, and I'm going to paste that into here. Okay, so what does this prompt say? So it basically is telling this Perplexity module how to do the research and how to actually get an estimate evaluation for this property. It says property valuation assistant, comprehensive market analysis. Your role is to provide an accurate data-driven property valuation by conducting a thorough market research and analysis based on specific property details provided by users. And then down here we have the process for the property valuation, which is number 1, property information collection, number 2, market analysis, number 3, comprehensive property research, number 4, neighborhood assessment, number 5, property specific value factors, future considerations, valuation delivery, and the output format. Now, we're going to come down here, we're going to select user, max tokens, we will leave this open, and for the temperature, we'll also leave that, and we'll just click save. Now, because Perplexity is a really good researcher module, it's best we use a different module to actually format this kind of report to send back to the user. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to use Claude, which is probably one of the best like creative kind of thinking and writing modules. So I'm going to come over to Claude, click creative prompt, and I'm going to select Claude 3.7 Sonnet, and I'm going to say to Claude, here is the research of a property and the estimate valuation. I want you to create a neat output of this report in HTML format using correct hierarchy in the text, and make sure you put an emphasis on the actual property value estimation. Okay, I'm going to copy this again. I'm going to come over here to Claude, and I'm going to say, okay, here is the formatter for the report. Can you improve this prompt? The reason why I keep coming back over here to Claude is because it's going to generate a full prompt for us, which would have taken us a few minutes. I would say if you were going to build this for a client or for yourself, spend a little bit more time on the prompts. I'm just doing this to make this video a bit quicker. But you can see here, Claude has outputted the property valuation formatter. Your role is to transform property valuation research into a professionally formatted HTML report with clear visual hierarchy that emphasizes the property valuation estimate. That sounds okay. Report structure, headings, market context, technical requirements. Okay, that looks perfect. I'm going to copy all of this, bring this back over to make.com and paste that into here. And this is basically ready to go. Okay, so that prompt looks fine. I'm going to put in max tokens 3000. And then over here, we're going to select user and we're going to input the prompt that we just took from Claude. So I'm going to input that over here. Okay, so this prompt looks fine. I'm going to save that. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to select a webhook and we're just going to select webhook response. The body of that webhook response is basically just going to be the formatted report in which we will receive over here. So if I click in here to content and I select text, this will be the text output. So we're going to select next. Okay, one thing we need to actually do before we initiate this is we need to come back in here to Claude and we need to actually give it the data from Perplexity. So I'm going to come down to the end here and I'm going to say here is the conducted research and investigation, and I'm going to come over here and I'm going to give it the research that Claude has done. So I'm going to come over here to message and I'm going to select content. So choices, message, content, and that should have all of the research that Perplexity has done. So if we save this, and this is basically the full output that we need. So this is the full back end of the whole SaaS application. And then on the front end, you can see everything should be fine here to go. Okay, so now we can test this to see if it's actually triggering our webhook. So for this, I'm going to right click this and I'm going to run this module only. And then if we come over here and we just put in a random address, some random details, put in a random size and condition. If I click get valuation, we should come over here and we should see all of the details here. So we can see it's actually triggering this webhook. And now what we need to do is we need to put these details over here into the Perplexity module so it knows what property we're looking for, the address, the size, the bedrooms, the bathrooms, etc. So I'm going to come over here to Perplexity and I'm going to say, come down here to the bottom and I'm going to say, here is the details of the property in question. And we're going to use everything that the webhook outputs. So for address, we're going to use the address output. For the city, we're going to use the city input. For the zip code, we'll use the zip code input. We'll just do this for all of the inputs that we get from the webhook. So the property type, bedrooms, bathrooms, size, year built, and the condition of this property, which is this one here. Then this Perplexity module has all of the details about this property, so it can do the correct research and get a good valuation for the property that we're looking for. Okay, so this seems fine. Okay, so we can now come back over here to Lovable and we can test this app to see if it works. So you can see the prompt here, which we sent to Lovable, which is to trigger the webhook and expect a response in HTML format, is completely done. And Lovable has said that I've made the following changes, created a new valuation report component to safely render the HTML response. So it's getting ready to receive that. We've updated the valuation to make the webhook call and so on. So it's made all of these changes. So now we can actually see if this app is working. So I'll go up here so we can actually preview the full website. You can see it's all here. So if we press get free valuation, we can try this on a real property. So okay, so I've got a property over here which we can test out the app on. So I'm going to use this address, kind of copy this, bring it over to our app, paste it in here. The place is Texas, zip code is this, property type townhouse, bedrooms 4, bathrooms 3, size 2400, and the date was built 2010, condition, let's say it's in good condition. Now if I press get instant valuation and we come over here, we can see the scenario is running. As the scenario is running, you can see the app is generating the report, and whenever this report is finished, it will send it over to Claude. Claude will format it in HTML, send it back over to the webhook, and it should be displayed over here. And essentially we've built a full SaaS application that you can charge 10, 20,000 to sell this, or maybe you can just launch it yourself and connect your Stripe payment and start taking in payments instantly. As you've seen, it took us a couple of minutes to build this, so if you spent a little time, you enhanced this a little bit more, made the website look better, added some extra features, you can make some serious money off this without having to know how to code or having to invest any money into this at all. So we can see over here Perplexity is doing all of the deep research. After that, it should output it in Claude, and then Claude will send it back over, and we'll wait for all of that to happen. Okay, so after this make scenario complete, so again it takes in the webhook, which is the address, all of the details about the property, does the research, prepares the report, and then sends it back over in HTML format like we said. If we come in here and we see what it sent over, you can see it is all HTML format, completely done for us. We don't have to know how to do coding or anything. And if we come back over to our app, we can see it outputs this report for us. Now the reason we use HTML is because it's able to do all of this coloring and formatting. If we had just output text, then it would have been just text like this with no colors, no nothing. But you can see if you're selling this or if you're charging people for reports, then you would want to format it like this. Now you can see the estimated market value is 500,000. It has a 90% confidence interval. Now for this property that we actually put in, which is 6 Glendale in Texas, if we come over here, this property is actually listed for 499,900. So you can see this property valuation tool that we've just built is quite accurate. If we go further down into the report, you have an executive summary. Comprehensive valuation presents a market value estimate of 500,000 based on extensive analysis of comparable properties. It gives you a valuation range, the property details, lot size, year built, garage, traditional size, special features and amenities, property condition assessment, valuation analysis, gives you location premium. So it goes into a lot of detail. You can see it has pulled up some properties in the area which are all in and around that value with the same amount of size. And we have market context, and we have a full analysis done on a property, and you can charge real estate agents or just the general public. You can charge them to use this. Okay, so now we've seen we have the full app built, so we're able to put it in address and we're able to get a full report out of it. Now how do we charge people to use this? So if we wanted to charge people for this application and we wanted to charge people per report they generate, we would just come over here and we would say to this application, create a pricing plan for this SaaS where it is let's say $20 per report, or deals on bulk buying reports. Now what it should do for us is create a pricing plan and give it some details about our Stripe platform, and it will connect it to our Stripe for us. So whenever a user wants to generate a report, they will put in their details, they will pay for a report, and that will come through to our Stripe account. I'll leave all of the information about this below so you can download it in the first link in the description. All of the prompts, this actual application, the make scenario, I'll leave that all below so you can build it yourself just like how we've built it, or you can even add on to it to make a more powerful application, and you could start selling it within a matter of days. So you can see over here, Lovable has started creating the pricing plan. It says, I'll help you create a pricing plan with options for single reports and bulk purchases. We'll make it clean and professional following the existing design system. Okay, so Lovable has just said that it's created the pricing plan. So if we come up here and we check out the pricing plan, you can see it has created a pricing plan. So we have a single report for $20. We have 6 reports for $95, which is saving $25. And then we have the professional plan. And if we wanted to connect this to something, we would just say to Lovable, connect the pricing plan to my Stripe account. And when we send that off, it would give us a list of instructions on what it needs to connect this to our Stripe account. But you've seen the whole process being built out. We've done all the prompts. We've shown you exactly how this was built. we've got the full report as well. And if you want to build this for yourself, just make sure to jump in the first link in the description. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this in the future.